Chanel Kisa, your host of Ladies Room Millennials. Ladies Room Millennials is a platform to highlight high-achieving, brilliant, and courageous women. And I've been honored on today's show to have two amazing women. We have Nicole Fegan. She's the youngest lawyer to beat a murder case, as well as she has her own law firm, the Fegan Law Group. And then we have Jasmine Milan. She's a 6-year veteran in the PR game. She represents clients that are on reality TV, as well as she has a client that's the youngest Black woman to have a marijuana dispensary. So thanks, ladies, for being on the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So we have a whole rundown of the show. We got some juicy trending topics, as well as a global social issue that we're gonna go through. But first, we're gonna go on a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Take this shit to trial. I gotta take this shit to trial. I got proof. Yeah. I gotta take this shit to trial. I gotta take this shit to trial. I gotta take this shit.
Hi, my name is Nicole Fegan. I'm a criminal defense trial attorney here in Atlanta. They call me Miss Got Proof. I'm the youngest lawyer to beat a murder, and you're watching Ladies and Millennials.
So welcome back to Ladies Room Millennials. I'm your host, Chanel Kisa, and we have two beautiful women joining me. We have Nicole Fegan and Jasmine Milan. So we're going to dive right into these juicy topics, these juicy trending topics. So first, did you guys hear about the story that's going on in California about this 9-year-old Girl Scout trooper?
Yes.
So let me tell you all about this little girl. She's 9 years old. She's a Girl Scout, okay. She sold 300 Girl Scout cookies in front of a marijuana dispensary. So how do you ladies feel about that?
Me personally, representing the youngest Black female to own a medicinal marijuana dispensary, I'm kind of in favor of it. I'm growing to kind of not really see the negative connotations that come along with the cannabis industry. But I've also lived in San Francisco, California for a little while, and I can say just from my opinion, me being out there, the culture, as far as it pertains to recreational marijuana is very lax. It's very normal. So I don't think it's any different from a Girl Scout that you would see here in Atlanta selling Girl Scout cookies outside of a Publix or any other public storefront at that. So I think in that city, it's okay. If it were to happen here, then yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a problem to
I think it would be a big problem.
Yeah, to associate a 9-year-old with marijuana. But out there, it's completely normal. You walk through San Francisco, California, or any area of California because it's legal in that state, and you see people, smoking recreational marijuana outside of police stations. That's completely normal. And when I lived there, it probably took me the first week to get used to that. And then I was like, okay, they're just doing what people do.
So I think it's marketing at its finest. I think you know your audience, you knew how to make the money, and she made it happen. It's similar to my situation. I have a billboard outside of the strip club over in Onyx.
Hey, I gotta go check out that billboard again.
Cheshire Bridge.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Well, see, it's kind of crazy because according to the Girl Scout regulations, you are not able to sell Girl Scout cookies in front of any private commercial property or any general public facility. So I thought that was kind of weird, only because I always bought my Girl Scout cookies in front of a Publix. So where do you guys normally buy your cookies from?
Outside of Publix.
Outside of a grocery store. What about you?
You don't hear about the Girl Scout company returning the funds.
At all, right? But they want to go back and talk about the regulations. So Today.com, the Today Show, they took a poll and they said a Girl Scout may have violated rules by selling cookies outside of a marijuana dispensary. What do you think of her cookie selling strategy? 90% of the people that took a poll approved, 10% of the people disapproved. Now, 8,564 people voted. So I think her strategy was actually brilliant. I can understand that since the story did become a national story, there's a lot of places that marijuana aren't legal in. So it couldn't happen in Atlanta because you wouldn't see a marijuana dispensary. But I think if you're a client, had a little Girl Scout that wanted to have, people getting the munchies, because that's what happens when you smoke weed, right?
Right.
Or marijuana. Let's talk about let's say the technical term. they'll probably have the munchies and they can go indulge in some nice little cookies.
Yeah, I approve.
Right. I definitely approve. I think, like you said, it was a great marketing strategy. I think it's no different from when you're going to a baseball game at Turner Field and you have people that come up and they're selling water bottles because it's hot, so people are going to want water. It's the same thing. Like you said, when you're indulging in marijuana, you get the munchies. So you want some Girl Scout cookies.
You want some Girl Scout cookies. So we can all say that we're all for that, okay? We're all for it. So Jasmine and Nicole, your boyfriend picks you up for Valentine's Day, takes you to this exclusive restaurant. You guys have only been together for 2 months. Only 2 months. He goes over the top and gives you nothing but the best, from the top of the line champagne or wine to the gourmet steak and lobster. During dessert, he gets up to use the restroom, and the waitress comes over. So listen to this. The waitress comes over and says, "Hey, he did the same thing for his ex-girlfriend last year." What would you do? 1, leave. 2, ask him about it. Like, as soon as he comes back to the table, you ask him. 3, let it go since she wasn't his girlfriend last year. Or 4, wait until next week and you bring it up.
I'd talk to the waitress. I think she started the shade.
I think I would let it go. I'm not big on things like that. One, I feel like it's really, really hard to just find a good man in general. So if I'm gonna create tension between us and choose for us to break up, I would rather it be over something that's serious, not over something like a restaurant. Whatever you did before me doesn't really apply. I'm gonna sit there, enjoy my steak, and drink my champagne. It's over.
So Nicole, what would you tell the waitress?
I'm combative. That's what I do.
It's fine.
I'm a trial attorney, so everything I do is about an argument. That's what I get paid for. So I would come to her, and she wouldn't get paid that night. Not on my tip.
Okay. Well, this post was posted on Facebook, so I'm going to read some of the comments without the curse words. Tell that little old bitty to mind her MFing business. Number 5, tell the waitress to mind her business. Nothing, just enjoy. Enjoy my dang meal. Tell her to find something to do. That has nothing to do with me. TF, that means I love it. And then someone put like that little side-eye emoji face, like painting the nail, and then the painting the nail emoji. And then she said, #girl vibe. So I did put my little comment on because that's just what I had to do. And mine was number 3. None of my business. The effort counts. I would have sat right there, enjoyed the meal. Because what you got to understand sometimes not even sometimes as a woman, and this is coming solely from me, what you got to understand is that it could have been anybody else he could have took out and wined it down that night. But he chose to take me. So I would have enjoyed every minute of it, and I would look at the waitress like, I'm here and you're mad because you're working.
Right. That's right.
And that's it. All right, so let's go into Valentine's Day. So would you guys ask your Valentine's Day crush out?
Yes.
You would ask.
I would say yes too.
So you had not anybody prior that you dated, but somebody that you was like, I have a crush on him. Let's see if he's free for Valentine's Day. Would you send him a little quick text? Would you call him?
I'm a little awkward, especially when it comes to dating. I'm goofy. I joke about a lot of things. So I would probably be the one that would send a text and be like, hey, what are you doing on the 14th? Like, not really trying to kind of connotate to the fact that it's Valentine's Day, but just like, do you just so happen to be free on this Wednesday, whatever? Because, we can go do something if you're free.
Because you know that Valentine's Day is on that Wednesday.
Right.
So you wouldn't actually say it's that Wednesday, but you will make sure you'll just...
Right. I would just
try
kind
to
of joke about it. And then I think just making light of it. People put way too much pressure on one day, in my opinion. Like, and if you're in a relationship, ultimately, I would want to be with someone that makes every day feel like Valentine's Day. So just because this one day is coming up, I would just probably be like, hey, let's throw on some sweatpants and just go to the movies.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
I think that that's part of being a millennial. I think that women nowadays aren't as old school, and we're not waiting for a man to come to us. We take the first step. And I think that's what empowers us. I think we go out for what we want, and if it doesn't work, then we learn from that, you know? And I'm similar to what you say, but I want love gifts, surprises. I don't want a Hallmark holiday that people are going broke to show that they love you.
So you just want every day to be Valentine's Day or Christmas?
I don't
or
need
whatever
every
the
day.
case may be.
But Saturdays.
So that's like one day every 6 days.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Maybe a Wednesday.
That's I'd rather maybe a Wednesday. You know, I would rather have that one day every 6 days versus that one day of the year, or like that holiday of the year. I think that'll be kind of cool. I think it would be kind of cool. Well, it was trending on social media. So these were some of the texts some women had sent, you know, their crush. So I was thinking, would you be free on Valentine's Day? If so, could we go out? And the response was, I have to work, but you can definitely come to work with me.
I think that was a very smooth decline. Like, if I bring you to work, everybody's going to think, it's a work friend. Is this like bring your friend to work day? This is one of those unwritten holidays. No one would think they're clearly together on Valentine's Day. So that was a nice way to kind of make you happy, but still not, yeah, we're together on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And I think it's obvious that they have a nighttime job, because if you're working nights, then you're at a restaurant or a club or something like that, and that's not where I want to be.
Okay. Well, honestly, the next text from that was like, oh, what will we do at your job? And he was like, oh, you know, you can just like sit by me, I'll do the work, and you can just hang out, and that's how we can spend on Valentine's Day. So I know you said it was a decline, but do you think it was more of a decline in that situation, or would it just be more so something that you would be willing to do?
What does he do?
It doesn't say. I don't know. It does not say. It doesn't say, so I don't know.
Because I'm thinking, if I have a job that you can come to, like you said, I'm probably working in the club or at a restaurant of some sort, and if that's the case, I'm probably not going to have too much time to tend to you. So you're just kind of going to be spending that Valentine's Day by yourself.
And that's not something I'm interested in. See, for me, I'm kind of like, when I'm crushing on somebody, I get so shy. And normally, I don't think that I'm a shy person at all, but I could definitely agree with you. I would send him like a quirky little text, like, "Hey, what you doing Friday? Like, you wanna go get some food? Like, make it seem super casual. That way, if he like lets me down, it's like, oh no, you know, I'm gonna be doing something else because he got him another date. I won't feel so bad. But thanks, ladies. So we're going to go on a commercial break. Those are our 2 trending topics, and we'll be right back. Hi, Millennial Women. I'm your host, Chanel Kisa of Ladies Room Millennials. And I am so happy to finally announce Season 1, Episode 1 of Ladies Room Millennials. Millennials carry a total of $1 trillion in student debt. $1 trillion. That's a lot. I believe that the reason why the student debt is actually so high is because we're actually seeking like high achieving degrees, whether it's like we're not just going for a bachelor's degree, we're actually going for a master's degree, or even a more professional degree than that, like a PhD, or we're seeking more than one degree at a time, you know, because just having a bachelor's degree is just not enough, and sometimes not even just having a bachelor's and a master's is not enough as well. So I think that that's something that probably we as millennials, we can probably just work on, seeing ways that we can fight to, you know, get the forgiveness policy when it comes to like student debt, as well as deferment and other things that could be around that. Just know that the art is bigger than you. Let it come naturally, and good or bad, push forward. And just know this, anyone can do anything. It's actually possible. Anything is possible. But one thing you need to remember when you go out and you seek things, or you dream of things, and you draw up things, and you vision things, and you create a plan, and you manifest, or whatever it may be, when you go out and you seek to do something, just know that you must sacrifice yourself in order to make it complete, in order to get it done, in order to see the end. Welcome back from that commercial break. I'm your host, Chanel Kisa, and I'm with Nicole Fegan and Jasmine Milan. So let's talk about sexual harassment in the workplace, ladies. So in Hollywood, that's right now, it's becoming a really, really big thing, how actors and actresses are coming out, talking about their experiences that they face within Hollywood and sexual harassment. There's a lot of lawsuits going on right now. And they also had the Golden Globes, where a lot of women did their protest in wearing black gowns. So how do you guys feel about sexual harassment? Have you guys experienced it, seen it go on? Do you understand it? And even your viewpoints about what's going on in Hollywood, since it's so much in the media.
I personally have never experienced it. I have my own business. I work alone. I have a small team of interns. They're all women. So thankfully, I haven't run into that. I do witness small stigmas as far as male versus female publicists, just egos in general within the industry. But I haven't faced it. I think that actors and actresses in Hollywood, that's a little bit more, susceptible to happen, especially considering with people like that in their workplace. It's not like when they go to work, they have a cubicle, or they're somewhere public where there's a supervisor and cameras looking over them. So it can't be really documented. It's hard to pick out what exactly is sexual harassment, how it takes place, how did it get started. It's really hard to put your finger on it when your workplace and your desk or your computer station that you're at is usually some sort of trailer, that's closed off. It's very private. It's a lot of after hours, and let's go meet up at this person's mansion to go over our lines. I feel like you're more in a position for things like that to happen.
It's never happened to me either. I own my own business as well, but I have an issue when there's a benefit that's being made and then something isn't being said right then. That's when the criminal defense attorney in me comes out, and I'm like, you should have said something then, and if you got what you wanted at the time, then it's not fair to say something now.
Okay, so in Hollywood, these are people coming out speaking about things that happened 20, 10, 5 years prior to where they are right now. So do you have an issue with them speaking out against things that happened in the past, although their career has skyrocketed? Because these are leading ladies that we're actually giving light to,
I think they have the freedom of their opinion and to say whatever they want to say, but I don't think that now they should be getting some lawsuit money for something that they made out for it back then.
Or any criminal charges should be.
Oh, absolutely not.
I can somewhat agree to that. I've been in the entertainment business, modeling, acting, radio personality, TV personality for the past 5-6 years. And I have never really experienced it in the workplace to a degree. I've heard side comments and stuff, and I'm kind of a passive aggressive type person, honestly, in my personal life. So sometimes I'll let things slide over, but then I won't deal with you again, So that's kind of where I kind of cut it, And then I do also feel like you can't put yourself in situations at all with people, behind closed doors or meeting at mansion after hours. Once that project is done, you go, You go home or you go to your next thing, hanging out, trying to network further. The network is done when it should be happening when the project is going on. And once the project is done, that's when it's time for you to go and you go on about your business and start handling other things that's going on in your life. So I do think the after hour type situation opens you up to other things actually happening, And I think that's when you're able to bring it back to say, this happened in the workplace, when it really kind of didn't, But then there are situations where women actually face Harassment in the workplace, I do believe that it actually has happened. I know that right now, during statistics, it's not happening as much. There's a slight difference between in the 1970s as to what's going on right now. But I do believe that one of the biggest problems as to why sexual harassment happens in the workplace is because of gender inequality. Women are getting paid 20% less. So I think that it makes their superiors be proposition them a little bit more to have that climb up so they'll be able to support themselves a little bit better. And I think if we were able to get that equal pay, equal work environment, I think that the sexuality and the harassment wouldn't be there. But that's just my opinion.
I guess I think that it's also a way you portray yourself. You know, if you portray that you don't take anything and that your stiff arm game's strong and that you don't want anything, you know, I feel that men feed off that and they know not to mess with you.
I think that could be like that some of the time. But I do respect you because I see your little stiff game. We've been talking about this stiff game a lot.
I think that powerful men in certain industries may also recognize that they're powerful and they take advantage of, you know, just fresh faces in the industry. So if I'm an actor who's been in Hollywood for well over 30 years, I have, you know, Emmys and all types of awards and recognitions, no one's gonna look at me like I'm a monster. So if I just so happen to touch a pretty girl on her thigh, I could probably get away with that. You know, there's that, it's going to be this small person coming up against this large name. No one really wants to be the one to do that. It's uncomfortable. It's a lot that you're going up against. So I think that that might be a little bit of the reason why women are just now coming out about it. You know, from a survivor standpoint, I don't know how long it may take certain women to feel comfortable with facing their truth, you know, and getting the strength to come out, you know, against someone like Bill Cosby, for example. That takes a lot for you to come out against someone who's loved and very well known in the industry. Now, what I do disagree with, just in terms of the whole Bill Cosby situation, is people who attack his accolades. I feel like what he's done in his personal life, even if he did use, you know, his professional role and credentials to have the leeway to do it, I don't feel like it takes away from him being talented.
But you know, when you're an entertainer, it always goes one and the same in today's world. Like, you can't just have a personal life and an entertainment career and it not be tied into one, you know? They always try to find you as an entertainer and then what's going on in your personal life to like you more, dislike you more, you know? So I do think it is unfortunate, but it does happen.
But I think the mix has come from social media. Like, the person you portray on your social media is an image. If you're selling something, then you're marketing, you're branding, and you become that person, you know, and there's no room for mistakes at that point. So when it's a situation where it's your livelihood and that's who you have to be, that's just what it is.
Okay. I can agree with these things, but I do think that it does take some time for some women to come out and actually speak about it. I do think sometimes you don't even know formally what sexual harassment is in the cases that you do have to kind of come out about. And I do think that sometimes it could be a very unfortunate, uncomfortable situation. I'm happy that neither three of us have been in that situation, so we can't really speak on a personal standpoint, but we still have our viewpoints on it, you know? Nicole, stiff arm game, you know, the stiff arm. And then you got to speak out about it, you know, and that's how you help other people that are going to come up in this industry. They won't face it. So thank you guys for watching. We're going to go on this commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Jasmine Milan of JMPR, your most dependable PR girl, and you're watching Ladies Are Millennials.
For watching Ladies Are Millennials. I'm Chanel, Jasmine Milan, and Nicole Vegan. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. So make sure you guys tune in to Ladies Are Millennials.